Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting and casino industries. This week in our state and national reports, we have the American Gaming Association State of the States report to talk about.
Absolutely.
As well as March, April, and May numbers.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Got all of them, huh?
Over in the deal segment, we're going to be talking about a racing deal. We've got a betting platform deal and a responsible gambling deal to talk about as well.
So when you say racing deal, what are you talking about? I'm seeing a lot of horse racing now. I'm seeing a lot of car racing now.
This is car racing.
Car racing, okay.
Yes. Industry updates, licenses, launches, cease and desists, and then we're going to finish up legislative roundup with two from Oregon and a New Jersey story.
Two from Oregon.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll start talking state and national reports right after this.
The average cost of mesothelioma treatment can exceed $400,000. Families often face losing their homes or life savings just to pay the bills. If you or a loved one worked in these industries and were diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be entitled to compensation to protect your family. At Rights and Claims, we've helped families recover over $1 billion to cover medical costs, lost wages, and more. Let us help you secure their future with the compensation you deserve. Call 800-596-4889.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to start off our state and national report segment talking state of the states from the American Gaming Association.
Okay.
Now, every year they go through the commercial gaming industry and they give a report on how the health of the industry, basically,
Yep.
both online, retail, and also the different segments. According to the American Gaming Association State of the States report, commercial gaming in the United States generated $72 billion in revenue in 2024, brand new record.
So that's the fourth consecutive year that the commercial gaming industry set a record. Am I right?
That's correct.
Okay. Look, the numbers are going in the right direction.
And it's only commercial. It's not the overall gaming industry.
Sure.
We still have the Native American industry yet to report their numbers for
Sure.
2024. But like I said, record revenue. We also have record tax revenue, $15.9 billion in state and local taxes generated by the commercial gaming industry.
I mean, that's the figure that all the states look at. That's the reason why we have commercial gaming in the states.
Yes.
Is for that number right there.
And record commercial casino revenue as well for the year. But it is kind of interesting with the report. Retail revenue in the United States for the gaming industry has grown marginally or even declined in some areas versus sports betting and online gaming.
Sure. Here in New Jersey, I mean, some months the online gaming is better than the retail gaming.
Yes.
So, it's all gaming, but, if for people, this is the main argument for people who are opposed to online casinos, the idea of cannibalization.
Yes.
It's taking away from, the retail casinos, online casinos are. And I'm sure this is the figure they point to.
Yeah.
So.
And, it's just one of those things where retail is trying to find new ways to bring in some additional revenue.
Sure.
We actually have a report we're going to be talking about later on in the show.
Oh, okay.
Moving into the individual states for the current year, we've got March report from Illinois. Illinois has, for seventh consecutive month, hit the $1 billion mark.
Wow.
Total handle.
It's an incredible
Yes.
sports betting market. And anytime you do these reports and you mention a state, something clicks. I kind of associate a state with a particular point of gambling. You mentioned Colorado. I think of table tennis. You just mentioned Oregon. I thought of table tennis. And when you say Illinois, I think of parlays. So because maybe they don't have the most amount of parlays, but they report it the most. So
Parlays were a good chunk as usual.
It's always a good chunk.
But other announcements here, we've got first 3 months of 2025 have generated over $4 billion in total handle for the state.
It's incredible.
That's an increase from previous years. Bet Rivers passed the $50 million revenue mark, so they're in the 30% tax bracket now. ESPN Bet passed $30 million, and they've moved into the 25%. I'm sorry, Bet Rivers passed $50 million.
Okay.
They're in the 30%. The other two, the big ones, FanDuel and DraftKings, I hate to say it that way, they are in the 40% tax bracket, and they've accounted for nearly 88% of the tax revenue for the state every month.
That's like good news, bad news, Bet Rivers. Good news is you made this much money. Bad news is now you got to pay more taxes. You're in another tax bracket now.
Yeah, so. And March marked the debut of Bet365 in Illinois.
That's right. Yeah, I wonder, did they have like a big rollout? Anyone from Illinois, give us an email or tell us what they were doing there. Because anytime a sports book opens in a state, they do something big. They do have special promos or special whatever you call it, or deals for people. I'm just curious what Bet365 did in Illinois.
Well, Bet365 was the 10th online book in the state now.
Okay.
Moving over to the state of Maryland, we've got their March report. Maryland became the 13th state in the post-PASPA era to pass $1 billion in adjusted gaming revenue.
Wow. Okay.
And $1.5 billion in all-time gross gaming revenue.
All right.
20% hold on parlays was reported by the operators there. For the third time in the first 4 months of 2025, they hit the 20% hold mark.
So, when you're playing parlays, you got to be smart about it. Don't have a 14-leg parlay and bet incredible
Or if you
amount.
do.
If you do, okay, good luck to you if you like doing it. But you can see what the hold is for the sports books.
Don't expect to win. Go in with
the
hope.
There's a reason why sports books always have their parlay maker, and they promote parlays, and parlays are always at the top of their online page. They make money with parlays. So what did you say? A 20% hold?
20% hold.
There you go.
Yep.
Just be careful with parlays. Be responsible with parlays.
They're
fun. I play them too. So
a couple notes for the state of New York to finish up the segment on here. We've got their April sports betting report. Seventh time out of the last 8 months, they've hit $2 billion in handle. This is just the mobile industry, by the way.
Okay.
All-time mobile handle has passed $67 billion all-time. All-time tax revenue passed $3 billion.
With a B, by the way.
With a B. Yes.
Billion. Tax revenue is billion.
And again, we have FanDuel and DraftKings. FanDuel passed $26 billion in all-time handle in the state. DraftKings, $22.5 billion in all-time handle.
You know what? FanDuel and DraftKings, they're big in every state. Now, here in New Jersey, and they're certainly as big as anywhere in the country. But the one thing that FanDuel and DraftKings have in New Jersey is online casinos, and they're really promoting them. And every time you say these numbers from New York, I think, oh, my God, what kind of money they could be making with online casinos?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine what FanDuel and DraftKings would be doing with online casinos in New York? The money would be... I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine these numbers a couple years ago when New York started sports betting. I can't even imagine what they'd be raking in with online casinos.
Well, we're going to finish up the segment staying in New York. We've got 2 weeks to talk about here, and I thought this was an interesting comparison. Week ending May 4th, second consecutive week with at least $50 million in gross gaming revenue. Third weekly handle of less than $500 million in the last 10 weeks. That was the week ending May 4th. Fiscal year-to-date handle passed $3 billion.
Wow.
And we're not too far into the fiscal year right now.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's insane.
And just as a comparison's sake, May 11th, week ending May 11th for the state, fiscal year-to-date handle passed $3.5 billion.
Wow.
So they just increase it, over a $500 million weekly handle and over $40 million in the weekly gross gaming revenue.
I wonder how much of that is being driven by the Knicks. Which a couple of weeks ago we thought, oh my God, the Celtics would wipe them out and things like that. But congratulations to the Knicks. They took advantage of, I don't know what the Celtics were doing. It was crazy. I know injuries are a part of it, and and probably poor coaching too. That's that give injuries.
It was a one-dimensional team with the 3-point shooting.
Yeah,
when that doesn't work for them, they lose.
The Knicks really won it. But I'm just curious how much. I mean, living in this area, you can feel the excitement. They're in the news all the time, and every local sports show is talking about them. And I wonder how much of the Knicks' success and the Knicks' excitement was driving the handle here. I bet you it was. Plus New York baseball teams. We had the Subway Series a couple weeks ago too. That was a lot of fun.
I think you're looking at the wrong number because the Knicks' success probably generated the good revenue because everyone's probably betting on the Celtics.
That's true.
Yeah,
but the handle is just
is crazy.
Crazy here.
That's it for state and national. We're going to start talking deals right now. Starting off the deal segment, we're talking Ellis Island Casino and the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yes.
There should be a deal of the week. You know, with the Grand Prix coming up, everyone's making deals. It's like, you know, watch the race from here and things like that. So
Grand Prix is coming up in November.
Yep.
Ellis Island has announced a deal making the property an official venue of the Formula One race. What that means is they're going to be having fan zones, event hosting. They're going to have local outreach during the race. They're even having a Halloween party for the nonprofit. The Candlelighters Childhood Cancer Foundation will be having their annual Halloween bash at the Ellis Island.
That would be fun.
Yes.
I like that. Take pictures, everyone, and send it to us.
What's interesting about this deal, it comes after Ellis Island sued the race previously.
Okay.
For shutting down the roads, congestion, limited access during race time. They sued them. And according to Clark County records, the suit was dismissed last September, which paved the way for, hey, we're going to make some money off this.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly.
You know, it's something's coming. You can't do anything about it. Make the best of it. Make the best deals. See what you can do with it. So,
or
good for Ellis Island. That's what you should be doing.
That's the smart thing to do with a race like that.
You got to roll with it.
If you're not going to be a partner, you're not going to get the foot traffic.
Yeah,
and that's the key right there. Getting the foot traffic for this. And again, this is going to be the third year of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. If you go by Miami, the Miami Grand Prix that was run, the third year was a record-setting year. This is the third year of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, record-setting year. Possibly take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, it's something that's good for the city. It might not be good for individuals trying to get to work, going to work. Maybe, local businesses will have increased traffic. So who knows? I don't know. But did they still have that weird thing that if you're on the racetrack or if you're on the race course, do they block you? Do they have to pay something? There was something with businesses the other
You also
year.
can't loiter on the walkways or the escalators.
Oh, yeah, I saw footage of that last year. People trying to get on an escalator.
Yep.
I don't know where that was, but no, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah.
You know, it brings in a lot of money for the city. It brings in a lot of money for businesses. So, you can deal with it for how many days do you have to deal with it?
It's a week.
I don't have to deal with it. I'm in
week.
New Jersey, but it's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's good for the city.
Yes.
Let's just grin and bear it and enjoy it.
Staying in Nevada with Stations Casinos. Now, we talked about Stations Casinos announcing deals with various properties on the Strip to do STN-branded sports books, retail books on the properties. We now have the new partnership with Mesquite Entertainment, which has launched, and it's brought Stations Casinos-branded sports books and betting kiosks into, and let me get the properties right here. We have the Casablanca Resort Casino, Golf and Spa, and Virgin River Hotel and Casino in Mesquite, Nevada as well. So we've got two new properties carrying STN branded sports books and mobile technology too.
I'm going to have to take a look where Mesquite, Nevada is.
It's not too far away.
Is it? No? Okay. All right.
But again, that's Mesquite Entertainment, so congratulations there. Customers will now have do now have access to both the STN branded retail books and the STN mobile app.
Okay.
Last story of the week here for the deals, we've got Integrity Compliance 360. It's a weird week when we don't have an IC 360 deal to talk about.
They are busy, I'll tell you that.
This is a brand new deal they've announced with Rush Street Interactive, creating a new initiative called Gaming Literacy Aiding Decisions, or GLAD.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a educational program that will be launching in New Jersey and Delaware first, and they expect to roll it out in other states down the road here. Basically, it is a program where educators can enhance high school student gaming literacy.
Good.
They're going lower. They're not hitting the colleges; they're hitting the high schools now.
Well, that's important. I mean, they're exposed to it.
Yes.
There's a television commercial there's like a 5 every half hour in New Jersey. If you're not talking about sports betting, you're talking about online casinos. So they're exposed to it. Games. The announcers are talking about odds and overs and unders and props and whatever. So you know what? Great for IC360 because you know what? kids are getting exposed to it, and they should know what they're looking at and how to process that. So good for them.
Yep. Looking forward to it rolling out in more states.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's it for the deals. We're going to start talking industry updates right after this.
You may want to attend college.
But you have a full-time job and kids that need your full-time attention.
How can you possibly attend college?
You learn online at South University.
Earn your degree any hour, any day, from anywhere.
And the credit transfer policies also make it easier to return to college.
The convenience of taking classes where you want,
The flexibility of taking classes when you want.
so you can become who you want.
South University Online.
Call 800-836-3936.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. Industry update segment here. You had jokingly mentioned whether it was motor racing or horse racing that we were going to be talking about in the deal segment. Here we're going to be talking horse racing.
Okay. That's not the one you were talking about, but now we're talking about horse racing.
Right.
Okay.
We did the
We're seeing a lot of horse
we did
racing
the
now.
Grand Prix one and
We're seeing a lot of horse racing, a lot of good races out there.
But we had previously done a story with Caesars Sportsbook integrating the Caesars Racebook app into a couple states. I think it was Colorado and Kentucky before the Kentucky Derby. Now, before the Preakness, Caesars has integrated the Caesars Racebook into the app in Maryland, New York, and Ohio, just in time for the Preakness. So we now have 5 states incorporating the Caesars Racebook through the Caesars Sportsbook and Casino app. That's Colorado, Kentucky, Maryland, New York, and Ohio. Now, pari-mutuel horse racing is available for customers there.
Great.
Moving over to Missouri, we've been talking about this, and we're finally getting a clearer picture of the launch of the gaming industry, the sports betting industry in Missouri. Applications for licenses are already available to potential stakeholders. That started around May 15th. Here we are now. The Gaming Commission has verified the date of December 1st as the target date for the launch of the industry.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
See, I heard May 15th, and I'm like thinking, I don't know if this is going to get done this year, but it looks like they're chugging along, and
Yes.
maybe December 1st. Okay, all right.
Well, what the plan is that the initial time, and this is a fluid timeline too. May 15th was the applications becoming available. August 30th, licensing rules would take effect, and then December 1st, or thereabouts, would be the launch of the industry.
I would think a soft launch would. And let me tell you something. I bet you there'll be a launch around Thanksgiving. I think there'll be a soft launch. It just feels that way. Hey, look, these operators have been doing this and launching sportsbooks in a lot of states, so they know what they're doing, and they can do it a lot quicker than they could a couple of years ago because they know what they're doing. They know the software. They know the rules and regulations by then, and I think you might see something in November. I don't have any inside information on that, but I usually when they say December 1st, there's always a surprise. Oh, they're starting sooner. So
Yes.
I bet you there will be a soft launch in November.
Well, if it stays with December 1st as a hard date for launch and no soft launch before that, they will miss the first 2 months of the NFL season.
Yeah.
They'll be ready for the final month.
You
Right before the playoffs, they'll be up and running. But by December 1st, they plan on becoming the 39th state to offer legalized wagering.
they'll be able to sit home and bet on the Kansas City Chiefs in the privacy of their own home.
Exactly.
How's that? Look at
And
that.
they won't have to go
What-
state.
what-
They
what
won't
a-
have to cross state
What
lines
a wonderful!
to do it.
By the
Yes.
way, they play on Christmas too.
Yep, there you go.
So the Kansas City Chiefs play on Christmas.
Yep.
So I bet you this Christmas in Missouri there will be a lot of sports book gift cards going out around and things like that. So Makes a wonderful gift.
Moving over to the state of Tennessee, we've got VIP Play launching VIP Play Inc. launching VIP Play, which is a mobile betting app in the Tennessee gaming market.
Oh, okay.
VIP is also part of the group that was taking over Zen Sports in the state. They plan on also, once they get their renewals all taken care of, they will be launching online casino versions of the VIP Play app in West Virginia as well, since they already have their license there.
All right. I was going to ask you where are they at, and I'm glad they're in West Virginia. And it's, West Virginia is one of those states that has everything. They have online casinos and online sports betting. So good for VIP Play.
Very quickly, we've got Michigan. Michigan Gaming Control Board has issued another 14 cease and desist letters.
14?
14. I've never heard of any of these. And
wow,
a couple of them, BetFlip, Castle Casino, Casino Extreme, Emu Casino, Golden Lion, Gossip Slots, Irish Luck Casino. The list goes on and on. They're finding them. They're hitting them. 14 more cease and desists went out.
It's shocking the amount of operators out there, the unlicensed operators, and I don't know half of these names. So the ones you said I've never heard of before. So
yeah, I know. I'm finding new ones out all the time here.
Yeah.
Moving over to the state of New Jersey, we've got Caesars Entertainment announcing that they've launched the Caesars Palace Signature Multi-Hand Blackjack Surrender game from their in-house studio, Empire Creative. It's the first game they've been done in-house. A lot of great features. We go in-depth into this on our next episode of Beating the House.
Yeah.
So please check that out. It's a very interesting game. A lot of good features. Left, right-hand modes. There's a choice of voices.
I've never heard of left, right-hand modes.
Well, a lot of people, they want to be as immersive as possible.
Well, Caesars is pretty good about listening to their customers, so obviously people probably ask for that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'll check it out.
And a real quick note, there was a economic impact report from Stockton University and the Casino Association of New Jersey. Mm-hmm. They found that half of the net revenue, and I'm not really too surprised at this, half of the net revenue of the casino industry in Jersey comes from non-gambling sources. This is for Atlantic City. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're trying to diversify.
Yeah.
When I think of Hard Rock Casino, sure, they got great gaming floor and things like that. But, their concerts, they have great concerts every week. So that's they're diversifying.
Lodging, food and beverage,
Lucky
revenue.
Snake Arcade, a huge arcade.
Yes.
So that's great. You got the Steel Pier.
Yes.
Like big... I don't know. What was that? Something Mouse. What's that?
Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse. Yeah, our friend who used to be the Dave Schwartz.
Dave Schwartz
used to work there.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And that's it for the industry updates. We're going to start talking our legislative roundup right now. Starting off our legislative roundup, we got a pair of bills in Oregon to talk about. Kind of interesting bills, I think.
Okay.
Oregon Governor Kotek signed House Bill 3020 into law to outlaw the processing of internet bets on dog races in the state.
Okay.
Bill phases out greyhound betting by July 1st, 2027. Also ends remote gambling on dog races in Oregon, known as simulcasting.
Oh, well, I was going to
say
to
the general public.
We're talking about simulcasting. Yes. And I think there's dog racing. I think the only state that has it is West Virginia. Am I right?
Right now, internet wagers on dog races could only be legally processed in 2 states, Oregon being one of them, North Dakota being the other.
Okay.
So
that's a weird trivia question.
Yes.
So
now greyhound simulcasting has been outlawed in the 7 states of Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Kansas, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Oregon.
Wow. Okay. I remember going to a place where they simulcast, and they did have the dog races.
Yes.
So it's interesting. I guess they don't do that anymore, huh?
No. We're staying in Oregon. We've got House Bill 3115 received approval from Senate and House and will now be sent to the governor's office for final approval. House Bill 3115 grants anonymity to lottery winners.
Ah, there you go.
It's a matter of personal choice, not state law now. So if she signs it, I don't see her not signing this.
I don't know. I don't know what the general feeling is in Oregon. So I think it's great. I think people should have that choice of whether to say they won something or not. It's no one else's business, really.
No.
Let's be honest with you. So, although we report on it, so we would like to have names with it, but it's up to them. So,
Saying it, the person wishes to remain anonymous is just as good.
That's fine.
Especially when they pose for pictures with the novelty check. But don't say their names.
Yeah, right.
That's an interesting one right there. Last story of the week, we've got New Jersey. We've got New Jersey lawmakers introducing a constitutional amendment, SCR, Senate Constitutional Resolution 130, Senate Committee Resolution, 130, aimed at allowing casino gaming at two of the racetracks in the state, well, the two major ones in Meadowlands and Monmouth Park. The legislation was introduced on May 12th. It would be submitting a ballot question to voters, asking if casino operations should be permitted at the racetracks in the state outside of Atlantic City.
Yeah.
This would be the first opportunity to move casino gambling outside of the confines of Atlantic City. As you can imagine, Atlantic City officials are not too thrilled with this.
If you weren't worried about New York City area casinos, just wait for this one.
That's the reason
Northern
behind
New
it.
Jersey
Yes.
casinos may be coming.
Yes.
So
mixed in with racetracks.
well, it's never easy in Atlantic City.
No.
I'll tell you that. You always have to roll with it.
But they did have a very detailed plan for this. They've got a detailed revenue allocation for taxes. 45% of the revenue would fund property tax reductions for homeowners. 20% would be dedicated to special ed. 10% state pension funding. That's a nice touch.
Oh, yeah.
Cost of living adjustments for retired employees.
Sure.
And Atlantic City tourism support would be part of that as well.
I think it would have to be.
Yes.
So.
And the remaining 5% would go to the horse racing industry.
See, I was thinking maybe something with infrastructure, because I can't even imagine the traffic around the Meadowlands, especially like game day or concerts or things like that. So we throw a casino in that area, you might need an extra off-ramp or something.
Well, you're going to see probably infrastructure part of any proposals for casinos.
More trains.
Yeah.
Although we're having a strike right now, so who knows what happens.
Exactly. So we'll see if this moves forward and gets out of committee and moves forward onto the floors and gets approved to be put on the ballot in the future.
Sure.
That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. As always, there's been a ticker flying by below us on TV, which has additional news stories, domestic and international, entertainment, food, conference announcements. A couple of our sponsors are now on there as well.
Okay.
Especially our friends over at Horseshoe Online Casino and Dugout Mugs are on there. So please check those out. And as always, when this show is released Monday mornings, there is a full print version of the book report on our blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. There's a full print version there. Additional news stories, stuff we talked about in the half hour, items that are on the ticker, and other items we didn't have a chance to buy anywhere else are in the print version there. As always, announcements for both news and conferences, games, basically anything, entertainment, restaurant openings, bar openings, info at turnpikesportsradio.com.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.